The dim light of twilight invaded a new corner of the labyrinth, a hidden hall that my wandering feet had never explored before. The high ceiling, laden with stone beams worn by time, made the chamber resemble a forgotten crypt where shadows clung to every crevice. The floor was a mixture of damp stones and lush, green moss, and a biting cold seeped into my very core, making my fingers tremble around the necklace that, as ever, pulsed with a mysterious rhythm. All around, the walls bore archaic inscriptions and drawings I had never seen, symbols that, at first, seemed to be simple adornments, but soon revealed an aura of ancient power, as if they had been etched by the very hand of destiny. An indistinct murmur filled the space, and every sound, no matter how subtle, echoed like a warning. Something grand and terrible was approaching. As I walk slowly through this forgotten sanctuary, I feel an unease that goes beyond mere physical discomfort. My memories, always shrouded by a past of rejection and pain, flood my mind with unexpected force. I relive the lonely nights, the disdainful glances I received, and that constant sensation of being an anti-hero condemned to bear a burden that few can comprehend. Amid this whirlwind of emotions, I hear footsteps, soft yet determined, that blend with the sound of my own breathing. Instinctively, I start, and when I turn around, I come face to face with an unusual figure, an ethereal woman whose penetrating gaze conveys both authority and compassion. "I am Lyra," she says in a calm voice, yet laden with an intensity that surprises me. Without hesitation, Lyra introduces herself as a guardian of ancient knowledge, someone who, like me, has traversed the darkest corners of this labyrinth in search of answers. She explains that her footsteps led her to this place decades ago, and that even among shadows, the power of redemption always finds a way to manifest. I sense that, despite the distance between our stories, our souls share the same thirst for overcoming adversity. Her unexpected, mysterious presence offers me an anchor amid this sea of doubts. In a gentle tone, she asks, "Ren, do you remember what you promised yourself, even when the shadows seem to swallow everything?" I take a deep breath, allowing her words to penetrate my soul. Despite the scars I bear, I know I cannot surrender to despair. There is a spark that refuses to be extinguished, even when darkness threatens to consume me.
Quick tip to level up your experience. Read Manhwas and light novels for free. Listen to epic audiobooks. Watch unlimited anime. Play cloud games with no console. And stream the best anime soundtracks. Check the description now and grab your free trials.
As we walk together, Lyra guides me down a side corridor of this sanctuary, where the atmosphere changes dramatically. The inscriptions on the walls seem to vibrate with an inner energy, and the air grows denser, laden with an almost palpable suspense. Suddenly, the temperature plummets, and a sinister aura materializes before us, a colossal shadow hovering imposingly against the undulating backdrop of the walls. This entity, the ancestral shadow, is unlike anything I have ever witnessed. It displays a shifting form, its edges undefined as it oscillates between the material and the ethereal, as if composed of memories corrupted by time itself. As I draw near, its gaze, or rather, the perception of it, for it possesses no fixed eyes, seems to probe every corner of my soul, questioning my deepest fears and the flaws that have so often sought to define me. I feel a shiver run through my entire body as a hoarse, echoing voice, filled with disdain, strikes me like a blow. "Ren Kael, you dare to tread in this sanctuary, laden with pain and regret." My hands tighten around the necklace, and in an almost involuntary impulse, I recall all those times I fled from confronting my own shadows. Today, I know there is no room for hesitation. "I am not a prisoner of my memories," I reply, my voice trembling at first, but gaining strength as I speak. Lyra, her eyes fixed on that figure that seems to absorb every bit of light, adds in a whisper that blends with the howl of the wind entering through the cracks. "Use your pain as a blade, Ren. Let it cut the chains that bind you to the past." The ancestral shadow stirs, undulating in a macabre dance. It releases jets of dark energy, attempting to corrode not only my body but also my will. Every surge seems to bear a reminder of past failures, a scar of what I once tried to be, which so many times made me doubt my own worth. Instinctively, I move, dodging the waves of energy, while within me a silent battle begins. My thoughts race. Every pain endured is, in truth, proof that resilience exists. Every scar, the mark of a battle won against an insurmountable fate. The confrontation reaches its climax when the ancestral shadow decides to unleash the full extent of its power. In an instant, when the silence is shattered by an almost celestial boom, the entity condenses into a more defined form, facing me with a ferocity that makes every muscle in my body tremble with adrenaline and fear. "Prove, Ren, that you have not been subjugated by the ghosts of your past," roars the voice of the shadow, so powerful that it seems to make the very stones vibrate in response. At that moment, everything becomes simultaneous and intense. The sound of my heartbeat, the pulsation of the necklace, the whisper of Lyra at my side, and the overwhelming presence of the entity all merge into a whirlwind of sensations. I close my eyes for a brief instant and allow the accumulated energy from the depths of my being to burst forth with full force. In a cry laden with pain, anger, and above all, determination, I unleash everything that I have been, every rejection, every struggle that has molded me into this anti-hero who now refuses to yield. I feel a surge of power course through my veins, something beyond mere physical strength. It is as if every painful memory transforms into pure energy, ready to confront that specter. The shadow hesitates, and for a fleeting moment, time seems to stop. Seconds stretch into eternity as I see flashes of my past, hear the screams I never dared to silence, and also feel the inner fire that refuses to be extinguished. "I am Ren Kael," I shout, and my voice reverberates throughout the chamber, challenging not only the shadow but every dark thought that has ever haunted me. In a shock that seems to echo across the vastness of the labyrinth, the energy I unleashed strikes the ancestral shadow with the force of a tempest. The dark waves crash against an invisible barrier forged by my conviction, and the entity cries out, its sound blending with the roar of an avalanche. The climax is overwhelming, as if the very air were imbued for an instant with the tension of battle. Gradually, yet with precise inevitability, I sense that the shadow is beginning to lose its form, its contours undulating and fragmenting into a rain of black particles that dissipate into the surroundings. When the last spark of that dark energy vanished, silence gradually returned to the hall. I stood there, breathless, with my heart pounding, yet no longer burdened by crushing doubts. I felt my necklace pulse in a steady rhythm, as if affirming the victory. Lyra approached, her gentle eyes filled with admiration and comfort, and said, "You have proven, Ren, that even bearing the marks of the past, there is always room for the light that emerges from adversity." I took a deep breath, letting each drop of sweat and each pulse remind me that it isn't about erasing the scars, but transforming them into symbols of strength. The confrontation left me exhausted, yet it also clarified my inner vision. The ancestral shadow, which once sought to impose the weight of my mistakes, is now merely a distant echo of a past that no longer defines me. As my hands reached out to touch the necklace, I realized that something within me had changed, a reaffirmation that every battle, no matter how painful, is an opportunity to be reborn. The inner sacrifice I made in facing my demons today transforms into a silent promise to move forward, not as a traditional hero, but as a whole being, sculpted by the struggles I have chosen to endure. Sitting on one of the cold stones of this rediscovered sanctuary, I watch as the mist slowly disperses, and the hall gradually returns to being just a silent corner of the labyrinth. Lyra, by my side, wears a contemplative look. In our shared silence, I feel that every battle fought, every word spoken, every tear shed, is recorded not as a burden, but as a lesson that strengthens me. I reflect on the vastness of this journey and on the duality that shapes me, light and shadow, pain and redemption, rejection and overcoming. Today, I face the ancestral shadow and, in doing so, unveiled a truth deep within my soul, the certainty that my existence is not defined by failures or rejections, but by the power that emerges when I choose, even amid pain, to rise again. As the first soft glow of dawn peeks through the cracks of the ancient chamber, I sense a new hope taking root within me. The labyrinth, with all its secrets and challenges, remains a place of trial and transformation. There is still much to be discovered, new enemies to confront, and above all, paths to tread. I rise, feeling each step reverberate through my soul, and silently promise myself, and those who have fought before me, that I will continue to defy destiny, even if it means confronting the deepest shadows of my being. Lyra whispers, as if sensing what the future holds. "May this be only the beginning, Ren. Our scars will be the marks of our evolution." With this renewed promise, I press onward, aware that every challenge overcome is not an end, but a new dawn rising, illuminating the path toward a destiny that, though uncertain, carries the essence of true triumph. And so, with the echo of the confrontation still vibrating in my chest, I face the unknown horizon. The ancestral shadow has dissipated, leaving behind not only the pain of the past, but also the living flame of transformation. A flame kindled in an anti-hero who refuses to be defined by his fears, ready to forge a new path between the lights and the shadows of this irreplaceable world.
Did you enjoy the video? Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. This helps us know which stories you love most and which ones we should prioritize in future productions. Your support is essential for us to keep bringing you the best manhwa content every day. See you in the next episode.